What's up, guys? Will Brooks here, back with another session of the Thoughts Out Loud experiment. This is session 31, and it is the 1st of February. So we've made it through January. I wanted to do it's also Wednesday, so it's time for the midweek evaluation, which we can actually do. But I wanted to do a wrap up of how January went, but I think I'm gonna have to push that till tomorrow and do it a day later because I'm running behind today. Had a late day yesterday and a late start this morning, and I really don't have as much time to go into detail as much as I wanted. Um, so we'll do that tomorrow. Midweek evaluation is not good. I've got a visitor here, work related from San Diego, and we're in doing this work at work, and then I do want to, when people come over, I want to kind of show them what Korea is like, especially if it's their first time here, and they don't know what to do, and they're staying right here in Seoul. So we kind of went out last night and showed them around, and kind of not even showed them around. It's a great chance for me and my wife to kind of jump in there and get out into the city and check out places we've never seen before that we've been hearing about. And that's what we did last night. We went to a Kogi restaurant that we've been hearing about, and we went to an awesome microbrewery right here in the middle of Seoul, like right at Express Bus Terminal, and that's gonna be a place that I revisit all the time. That's gonna be the source of so many beers. Great beer, great craft beer, which isn't as much as a thing in Korea as it is in, say, Portland or Texas or something like that. I'm not sure if it's a thing in Texas or even Arizona. So and if it's a thing in Arizona, I would assume it's a thing in Texas. So yeah, but with him here and with me working late and with me having certain things going on, I just haven't had a chance to do very much. I haven't made the time. I'm not gonna say I haven't had the time. I haven't properly configured the amount of time that I have to do very much for like what I have going for my project for Soul Weaver, and that's a little frustrating. I find myself here on Wednesday night or Wednesday morning, coming into our recording night, and I'm doing exactly what I didn't want to do, which is recording for the episode tomorrow. That's not what the plan is supposed to be. The episode is supposed to be already recorded. I should have recorded last Wednesday. I can't remember what happened. I'll have to go back and watch Thoughts Out Loud to see what the heck happened to me recording last Wednesday. Oh, I did the live episode. How did I? And so I think the live episode ran long. Uh, Probably because there's a 6-year-old right around here jumping around, distracting me, and had me recovering stuff that I had already covered. Not his fault, just my fault for not being able to push through a 6-year-old jumping around in the background or not locking the door. Uh, Refrigerator on again. So I did go back and check out yesterday's episode because I kind of episode. I did go back and check out yesterday's session because I linked it to my brother. I posted it in his blog, and it was really directed toward him and other people who are in his situation. And I saw something this is one thing about doing Thoughts Out Loud, or one thing about the way I communicate is I want to make sure I get my thoughts across. And when I go back and watch Thoughts Out Loud sessions, and see that I missed something, I want to come back the next day and chime in on it. So one quick thing that I missed in yesterday's session is I talked about going ahead and just getting started doing your thing, like getting started with your idea, or getting started even though things aren't perfect or things aren't ideal in your heart of hearts or in your mind. Things aren't ideal in your mind, like in the back of your head. In your hearts of hearts, they're probably ideal because you really think your idea is a good idea in your heart of hearts. But I also listened to a podcast episode of Smart Passive Income, and they were talking about the same thing, like just getting started. Like you're never going to be as ready as you want to be. So you might as well get started. And if you are super comfortable with what you're doing, then you're probably not starting big enough. And so, or you're not doing something big enough. You're not out there as much as you need to be, or something like that. If you're completely comfortable with what you got going on. So, that being said, I wanted to add to that really briefly and say, like, make sure whatever you start is consistent with the idea, right? Like, I'm not saying just jump into anything. I'm not saying just say yes to whatever pops up. I'm saying, like, come in, like, make sure whatever you're gonna do is like somehow working its way toward that goal that you want to achieve. Or whatever you're gonna do at the lower level, or whatever you're gonna do at the cheaper end, or whatever you're gonna do to just kind of like make sure it has a path toward your end goal. If you want to make a cartoon, jumping on YouTube and doing something like this doesn't really have a trajectory toward whatever you're trying to do. So make sure that there's some kind of linkage or some kind of relation between what you start and what you do right now. I know, like if you want to start a cartoon, maybe you can just start like posting, like start a Facebook page where you post comic strips of what, I don't know, of something of what your cartoon is about, or a loose variation of what your cartoon will eventually be about. And if you're watching, you might want to do something like that with Drunk Me, High Me, Just Me. Same for my brother. Like I constantly tell Dan that like you, dude, like you're starting this thing about cars. Find the kind of cars you're talking about, like on Craigslist, and just review them like every day. You can do that. There's a wealth of, you gotta find something with like a wealth of like a huge pool of information, right? Like a huge, like some kind of like a big source, a source that is plentiful that you can pull from for a long time before it gets depleted or it gets tired. And it's just things. Those are a couple of examples. Those are a couple of examples of what I mean. Just make sure it's slowly aligned, or like aligned in some way with whatever your end result, and whatever your end result or your desire is for the end result. So yeah, I mean I don't know what really even this show is. This is purpose for me to just express my thoughts really to myself, and then like kind of get a little more comfortable talking in front of the camera, and then just get some editing thing, not really some editing things, or just get some aesthetics complete, right? Like the improvements with the lights and the improvements with the background. All this is going to change next weekend, but like slowly getting it to the point where like even like this bleeds over, or whatever I do here in Thoughts Out Loud or on All Things Will bleeds over into Soul Weaver, because at this point I've got like 6 times more videos on All Things Will and than I do have on Soul Weaver. I got to figure out something along the lines of the Thoughts Out Loud experiment to do for like that's Korea related. Maybe I'll go out there this weekend and like browse like all the forums and all the questions and things like that and stuff that people ask that is kind of different depending on what you're doing and what every day or something along those lines. I said this was going to be a short session, maybe it's not. I also saw in my search yesterday, I also mentioned that I would go and look for videos about editing. I didn't really get a chance to do that, but as I started, but I didn't get a chance to really get that through. But I did come across a YouTube channel called Ali's Perspective, where there's 2 young guys. They're like doing videos, or like they're videographers, and they're just vlogging their days as they go through, and they're editing it like in a way. The edit is remnant of Gary V's Daily V, where they're editing and they're talking to the camera for 1 minute, and then the next minute they're just gathering footage of them traveling from one place to another, or just the scenery of what they're seeing while they're traveling, and then they're like putting it against this like really cool, smooth background music. I like it. Like I need to come up with my own version. I mean that's not new. They're doing that like all over the place. It's something that happens a lot. Even just TV, I guess. But I want to do something like that. So I like what those guys are doing over there. I might go ahead and check them out. Actually, it's somehow a vlog, but still interesting because it's just them talking to the camera, explaining what they have going on. But it's still interesting enough to where I made it to like the good editing and things like that because he started off just talking to the camera, no different than what I'm doing, and then they do this to cut to the next shot. Can't do that with this sorry camera, but not sorry. You're not sorry. You're a great camera. This is a great camera, but if it's a webcam, so it's not gonna be. It's gonna react the way it just did right now. I mean, it's trying to get the lights together all back. But once the light changes, the amount of light in it changes, the color changes. So okay, that's all I got. I'm gonna get up out of here because I'm a little late. I gotta grab some coffee because I had a late night and I still gotta get my behind into work this morning. So yeah, and what would you add to what I said yesterday? What did I leave out? What do you think is something I should have added in or something I should have thrown in there? That goes for every episode or every session. And God, I'm gonna start calling it episode session because I'm just gonna put the wrong word up there and then like add the correction on the end. But what do you think I missed out on yesterday? What do you think I should have jumped on, or what I should have added to what I was talking about yesterday? What do you What do you want? What advice do you want to give to Dan? Because give him everything that you got. Because that's my brother. I love him, and I want him to really move forward with his thing. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thoughts Out Loud is every day. Part of my running routine. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Extra click at the end. Oh, how did I miss that?